So, when you think about hypnotherapy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? A swinging watch, maybe? Someone in a deep trance? Well, what if I told you the most powerful, most transformative part of the whole process isn't that at all?
See, a lot of us think the magic happens once you're under. But it turns out the real gold, and I love that term from our source material, the real transformative stuff, it's all mined during the conversation that happens way before anyone even closes their eyes.
And that is the big idea we're diving into today. This isn't just some boring intake form or a simple fact-finding mission. No, the pre-session interview is where you actually start building a brand new reality for the client. It's the groundwork for everything. So let's get into it. The key here, the real secret sauce, is a total shift in focus. We're not going to spend a ton of time dwelling on the problem, on what you're trying to get away from. Instead, all the energy goes into building what you're moving towards. You can see the difference right here. A lot of traditional talk therapy, and it has its place for sure, spends a lot of time in the past, right? Asking, why did this happen? But the hypnotic interview, it completely pivots. It's all about the future. It's about creating this incredibly detailed, compelling map for where you're going. And it all starts with one deceptively simple question. What is it that you actually want? The second you ask that, something amazing happens. The client's brain just switches gears. It starts imagining, creating, visualizing this new reality. And that right there, that's hypnosis in action, before the formal hypnosis has even started. Okay, so if you're building a new future, you need the right building materials, right? Well, in hypnotherapy, the raw materials are the client's own words. This is so important, and it's exactly why those generic, one-size-fits-all scripts just fall flat. Let me give you a really powerful example from the source material that just hits this home. Imagine a client who had a creepy uncle, and this uncle always used to call her a pretty little girl. For most people, pretty is a lovely word, but for her, it's loaded with something else entirely. So what happens if a well-meaning therapist, using some generic script, says to her in hypnosis, "See yourself in the future, you look so pretty." Boom. In that one moment, they've accidentally attached a feeling of being unsafe, of being uncomfortable, to the very future the client is trying to build. The whole thing can get sabotaged right there. And this is why it's absolutely crucial to listen for and use the client's own language. If they say they want to feel gorgeous, you use gorgeous. If they say powerful, you use powerful. You don't substitute your own words, because their words, the ones that make them light up when they say them, already contain the exact positive feeling they're chasing. Okay, so we've established the interview is the main event. It's where the gold is. So what are you actually listening for? Because it's definitely not just about the problem they walk in the door with. You're basically listening on 3 different channels at once. First, what are the stories and beliefs they tell themselves? Things like, oh, my weight gain is just hereditary. Second, what's the real pain point? The true emotional reason they want to change? It's often not the obvious one. Like for a smoker, it might not be the cost, but the shame they feel. And third, you're listening for the nitty-gritty details of that future they want to create. And here's the wild part. You usually don't have to dig very deep. Their mind knows what the real issue is. The problem they come in for, that's just the symptom. The real gold, the root cause, will often just pop up in the first 5 minutes of the conversation if you just give it the space to emerge. All right, now we get to my favorite part. Once you've gathered all this gold from the interview, how do you actually use it to build a brand new pathway in the brain? How do you craft a future memory? So here's the thing. In hypnosis, what we're doing is creating a false memory. But a false memory that feels so real to the brain and the body, it might as well have happened. And this isn't just woo-woo stuff. It's based in neuroscience. Your brain often can't tell the difference between a real memory and a super vividly imagined one. Think about sports hypnosis. It's the exact same principle. Athletes visualize the perfect shot over and over, and their body physically prepares to make it happen. Let's make this super practical with the smoking example. Step 1, you map out the old habit. Wake up, grab a cigarette, make coffee, have another cigarette. It's automatic. Step 2, you work with them to define the new routine. Okay, wake up, play with the kids while the coffee brews. Then, step 3 is the hypnosis itself. You vividly, with all the senses, walk them through that new morning. You don't even mention smoking. You just have them experience feeling great, connecting with their family. The results? The next morning, their brain's most recent,
most powerful memory of a morning is the new smoke-free one. It becomes the easier, more natural path to follow.
And I can't stress this enough. The details are everything. The more specific you get, the more real that memory becomes. It's not just, I'm going to go for a walk. It's, I'm going to put on my bright pink sneakers, feel the crunch of the gravel on the path, and hear the stream at the park. That's what makes it stick. Now, this is a lot to listen for, I know. So our source gives us a really simple but super powerful framework to help you organize everything you're hearing during that interview.
I want you to picture 3 circles. As your client is talking, you're kind of mentally sorting what they say into these 3 buckets. The first circle is the past. We're talking trauma, grief, old events that might need to be cleared. The second circle is biology, physical stuff, pain, symptoms, things that might need a referral to a doctor. And the third circle is their current environment. This is huge. A toxic job, a difficult relationship, anything that's a constant stressor right now.
And using this framework is it's a game changer because it helps you figure out if the obstacle is internal or external. Think about it. Someone in a horribly toxic work environment might really struggle to lose weight no matter how good the hypnosis is, because their body is constantly flooded with stress hormones. You have to address that external piece. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that we have to completely reframe how we see the interview. It's not the warm-up act. It is the main event. It's the therapy. It's the moment the blueprint for a new future actually gets drawn up. And you know, this whole idea goes way beyond a therapy room. It applies to all of us. So in your next really important conversation, whether you're a leader, a parent, a friend, think about this. What new memory could you help someone create? How could you help them build a blueprint for success before it even happens?